So you guys might also be aware that the Rams have recently brought in wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. If you guys have not heard this news, feel free to come out of that rock that you're under at any time and join the rest of us here because this was pretty big news, of course. And, OBJ being a Ram now, of course, the first game, he had 3 practices. I'm not looking too deep into that one. I do anticipate as the season goes on, he's going to be a more important piece of this offense. But I think we have some cases on that, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll kind of talk about that then. But it's the same premise is that, he had 3 practices. Now he's got the bye week under his belt. Similar situation for Von Miller, but this is about OBJ. So OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., has decided that he wants to receive his Rams salary in Bitcoin, which is, I think it's kind of cool. I didn't know that this was a possibility. I kind of thought that you had to get it in USD, but I guess that's not the case. You can get it however you want. I would probably get it in like double stuffed Oreos or something. Like, I don't know, probably something weird. probably something where at the end of my career I'd be like, that was a bad decision. Like I shouldn't have got paid in corn nuts. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but OBJ will get his salary in Bitcoin. He also wanted to give away some Bitcoin to some lucky Rams fans who happen to be followers of his on social media. So I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but he was giving away some Bitcoin to people, and he was giving away $1 million total in Bitcoin to multiple people. So it was basically drop your Cash App name or whatever, and he was going to Bitcoin you some money, or that's not how that's worked, but send you some Bitcoin, I guess is how I'm going to say it, because I don't really know all the verbiage. I'm not the crypto guy, but he will be, he has been sending that out. I've seen some screenshots and everything. It's pretty cool. He did end up, has been sending 0.0003547 Bitcoin. So very, very low amount. If you guys are the crypto people, then you guys would know that equals to about $20. So that he was sending out to people, which is, hey, I mean, that's cool. It's a fluctuating price point. I know it's not at its peak right now. I think it's like about 1,000 under what it's peaked at, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, that's pretty cool stuff. Basically, OBJ sends fans $20, and you can just let it sit there. Maybe it grows someday, and maybe you can get it up there to a decent amount of money. But $20, hey, $20 is $20, and I'm not gonna stick up my nose at $20. If somebody was like, hey, you want this $20? I'm like, get that out of my face. Like, I'm not gonna be doing anything like that. I didn't do this because I'll be honest with you guys, like, I just said I'm not like the crypto guy and all that stuff. I don't hate it or anything like that. I'll probably get into it eventually. I have no idea. I don't know what the future holds for Sheriff Joe Banks, but what I can tell you guys is that seeing when people like OBJ are giving stuff away to people, I tend to back off because in my brain it's like, oh, let other people have that. Like I don't need it. It'd be cool, but I don't need it. Like, let other people have it. Maybe somebody else does need it. Maybe I'm taking a slot of somebody who could have really used that right now. I have no idea. So I just let people have it. It's, I just try to stay away from it. Staying in other wide receiver news here, wide receiver Torry Holt is a semi-finalist again for the Hall of Fame. Will 2022 be the season that we get our boy Torry in? Oh, man, it better be, because who else is even in the greatest show on turf that's even up for it? You know what I mean? Like, there's some players on that team that I personally, like, they're in the Hall of Fame of my heart. You know what I mean? Like Adam Timmerman and, like Ricky Prohl and guys like that I think I think we're underrated in that offense, and I just think we're very big parts of it. But we've already got Kurt Warner movie coming out soon, and then Marshall Faulk's already in, Isaac Bruce just got in, Orlando Pace is in. So if we can get Torry in, then I think that's pretty sweet. Also, the Holt Brothers Foundation is incredible. I love it so much. It's especially after hearing Torry like explain what it is and stuff like that, because like Holt Brothers Foundation, like, of course, Terrence Holt was a safety. He played for the Lions, I know, for a little bit. But they've been able to come together and do some really, really cool things. So, Torry, man, I'm really hoping that this is the one. I'm hoping that this is the season that he gets in. This is now the 8th time that he's been a semi-finalist. And there are some other names on there that you're like, oh, well, that guy should get in too, man. Like, it's like, oh, well, this one too. Yeah. But luckily, I guess, I don't know. But for this year, actually, there's not too many first ballot guys that I would be like, oh, yeah, they obviously get in before Torry. Like that, it's happened in the past, the last couple of years. It's like, well, yeah, like obviously Torry's going to get in. Like, we want him in now, but this guy, I mean, how do you say no to that kind of thing? So, I mean, you gotta take what you can get, I guess. But Torry, hey man, I hope you know, Torry, that all of Rams Nation is definitely rooting for you, man, and we're all mad about it too. I don't know if you're mad about it, but we are all mad that you are not in quite yet. Moving on, because Torry Holt was actually a St. Louis Ram, and speaking of St. Louis, the lawsuit has come to an end. We have a conclusion to the lawsuit of the city of St. Louis versus the Rams / the NFL for violating terms of the negotiation or the relocation policy. And you know what? I had a whole thing written up here, and I'll kind of give you guys some bullet points of what I had written up here on the topic before I had learned about a settlement being reached. Basically, it was talking about how mediation began Tuesday, which was just yesterday as of time of recording, and that Kroenke offered $100 million to the city of St. Louis. They did decline that, and that Kroenke and this indemnification were still an issue, and that, you know, if the settlement wasn't reached, that the trial was scheduled to begin in January, but Kroenke was kind of getting a little bit tired of paying all of the legal fees for certain teams, but other teams were saying, like, well, if you didn't agree to pay the legal fees, and we weren't even going to vote for you to move, bro. So there's a whole lot of things going into this. And I remember that day so vividly. The day that the Rams got approval to move, I remember it so vividly. I was coming home from work, and I remembered I'd already had an article written out. And actually, because this is at the time before Ram Showcase had started, I started Ram Showcase. The first episode was less than 2 months after that approval happened, because I really was sitting there and it was like, okay, well, I have to do something more now. Like, I like, it's going to be back to the LA Rams. Like, just writing articles is not going to be enough. I need to get more into it. So I had the entire article written up, and I did something that you shouldn't do if you're if you're like a sports journalism guy. Is I was listening to local radio wherever the city is that these votes were taking place. I was listening to local radio. They had a person on scene at the hotel where the conference was taking place, and I wasn't even home, so I had my editor on the phone. And I was like listening in, and when that guy that they had on site said, hey, Kroenke's just now walking out. He's opened the doors. He's out in the hallways now. People are saying congratulations. He's smiling and shaking hands. I told my editor right there, I was like, publish it. It's approved. We did it. It's LA Rams, and did it, which was, in hindsight, maybe a bad move, because I actually didn't know. But I can say that I was the first publication. I was the first person who had an article out on the subject of the LA Rams movie. You can't find it now. The website doesn't exist anymore. It's a defunct website. So, I mean, I don't know how I could prove it, but, you know, that is whatever. Not important. But I remember everything about this day so vividly. And I also remember thinking, like, I don't know how they did this. Like, I don't know how they pulled this off. I don't know how the Rams got everybody to agree to let them move when... I'm thinking this as this was all happening, is like, these relocation rules, I don't think we hit those, but hey, I mean, the owners voted for it. The NFL's powerful. I don't think that they would do anything like that. So I don't know. So it just did it anyway. And I remembered all that. Anyway, flashing forward to now, to today, that we've reached a settlement. And like I said, Stan Kroenke offered $100 million. The city of St. Louis was reportedly asking for, like, they were baseline billion. Wanted $1 billion. Minimum. That was like what they were talking about. And the final settlement reached is $790 million, if you guys haven't heard. It's not sure, no one's sure how much of that $790 million Stan Kroenke is going to pay for. I would assume it's going to be a very large percentage of it, if not all of it, in my opinion. I just think that would make sense for Kroenke to do that, especially with this indemnification that is in. I know that I don't know if you count these as legal fees or not, but either way, I do think that Kroenke will be the one to foot most of that bill. But also, you know, initial reports, like I said, the city of St. Louis was asking for $1 billion. And I feel like the NFL got away with one here. I'll be honest with you guys. All right. I feel like the NFL in the Rams, I feel like we kind of got off easy, and I don't know all the details. I am not claiming to know all the details, and I won't lie to you guys. Okay. But we've talked about this topic a few times here on Rams Showcase, and every single time it was like getting better for St. Louis. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, we'll just take whatever we can get. That's kind of what it feels like to me. Obviously, $790 million is a lot more than the NFL wanted to pay. $790 million is also a lot less than the city of St. Louis wanted. So I guess that there is some kind of agreement there that would make sense, because it does feel like a low number, everything considered. Also, we don't know what happened with the court case potential of, because it sounded like the city of St. Louis was getting bits of information from somebody inside the NFL, whether that was the Chargers and or the Raiders is what my assumptions would be on who was feeding them that information, because the Raiders obviously wanted to be in Los Angeles. They are mad, I think, that they're in Vegas. I think they're like making the best of a situation, but it's clear that they wanted to be the LA Raiders, and that did not happen. Basically, the NFL, Jerry Jones, Stan Kroenke was like, no, we're doing it, and it happened. So it just also the settlement does not include an expansion team. The money would have made sense with an expansion team part of the settlement, but that is not the case. And now I'm curious to see whether the NFL will ever step foot in St. Louis again because of this. The city of St. Louis just cost the NFL $790 million. That's a good chunk of change, all right? And I know that we're sitting here saying, like, well, Kroenke's got that. Well, yeah, but if I have $100, I don't want to give you 80 of it right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's a sliding scale here, I get. But, like, let's not pretend like $790 million, like Kroenke sees that and he's like, nothing. Get rid of it. Go ahead. Yeah, send it. Send the check. I don't care. You guys got Venmo? Like, I don't know. I don't think that that's the case. It's still a lot of money, all right? And that's a lot of money for anybody. I don't care who you are or what situation you're in, what tax bracket you're in, or how many, like, what organization you own. I don't care. Okay, that's a good chunk of money. But either way, it feels like the NFL, the Rams got off pretty easy on this one. But I also, like, I wish I had more details, guys. Like, it sounds like the city of St. Louis potentially knew that if they won the court case, which I don't see a way that they wouldn't have won the court case unless there's some information, a big piece of information that I just don't have. But it feels like the city of St. Louis knew that they were going to win, but also that the NFL would just appeal it and that they wouldn't see anything for years. And I tend to go that way, that I feel like the city of St. Louis was like, all right, well, let's just get what we can get. $790 million. Let's do it. It's kind of weird how it was all set up, too. Like, it was literally, they were in two separate rooms, like St. Louis reps, NFL reps in two different rooms, and there was a guy that would go back. Like, that's a real thing. A guy would go back and forth. Like, a guy will walk in and be like, hey, Mayor Butts, like, or whatever his name is. I don't know who the Mayor Butts is. Is that I think it might be California. But, I go in there and be like, all right, this is what they said. And then that guy's like, no, over there. And then so he walks back over there. He's like, all right, I told him, and they said this. Like, you know what I mean? That's like a real thing that actually happened. That's wild to me. Seems like a movie thing. What's up? I'm thankful for y'all, man. All right, on this side is going to be subscribe, if you guys have not done that already. And if you liked this clip, watch the whole thing. It's going to be on this side here. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Peace. Go Rams.